Hello, I'm Steve Weber, the host of Beatles Rewind. As always, I'm joined by my co-host and fellow Beatlemaniac, my confidant Cassandra. Cass, you ready to dig into All My Loving?
Thank you, Steve, but I didn't know you cared for me quite that much.
Cass, it's not like that. You know I love you. But today we're talking about the song All My Loving.
Okay, go ahead, you start.
Right. Okay, so today we're diving deep into All My Loving. It's off the Anastasio with the Beatles album, released back in '63.
A fantastic track. Really shows that leap they were making even that early on.
Exactly. It feels so polished, sophisticated, especially compared to some of the earlier stuff. Our mission today is basically to figure out how it got that way.
Yeah, looking at how Paul wrote it, which was kind of weird for him.
Uh-huh. And John's contribution, which is massive.
Definitely. And then how they used it strategically, for America.
It's often called one of Paul's most elegant early songs. Sets a benchmark.
It does, but that elegance is almost deceptive, isn't it? It sounds simple, upbeat, pure pop. But when you actually dig into how it was made, well, that's where it gets interesting. Paul totally flipped his usual writing method.
Okay, let's unpack this. So, composition first. Officially, Lennon McCartney. Like always back then.
Right, the standard credit. But everyone pretty much agrees this one's Paul. He brought the song, lyrics and melody, pretty much fully formed.
And that's the first unusual thing, because Paul was almost always melody first, wasn't he?
Absolutely. He talked about it a lot. Music first, find the chords, hum a tune, then fit words to it. That was his process.
But not here.
Nope. For All My Loving, he remembered getting the words first, which was really rare for him.
The story is he was shaving. Seems a bit mundane for a classic song.
Well, inspiration strikes where it strikes, right? Apparently the line just popped into his head, close your eyes and I'll kiss you, like a little poem or a letter.
A letter between lovers who were apart. Makes sense, given the touring.
Exactly. He pictured it like that, very conversational. He wrote those lines down, probably just jotted them, and then went to figure out the music to fit them.
And, you can kind of hear that if you listen. The way the melody flows, it follows the rhythm of speech, almost.
Yeah, it's not forced into a rigid musical structure. It feels more natural, more like someone actually talking or thinking those lines. I'll pretend that I'm kissing, the licks I am missing. It just flows.
Which probably wouldn't have happened the same way if he'd done melody first.
Likely not. It gives the lyrics that immediacy, that authenticity.
Okay, so lyrics first. Weird for Paul. But then there's this other twist about the style he first imagined.
Yes. This is great. We hear it now as total Mersey beat, pure Beatles pop energy.
Right, fast, driving.
But Paul originally thought of it as a country and western song.
Get out of your country, all my loving.
Slow, narrative, more like the storytelling style he admired in some American C&W artists. Think maybe Everly Brothers Ballad territory, something steady.
Oh, it's hard to picture.
It is now. Obviously, that idea got completely transformed in the arrangement process. Maybe a tiny hint, a ghost of that steady rhythm is still buried under there somewhere.
Like a foundational pulse.
Maybe. But the final version, it's all driving beat and energy. That C&W idea basically vanished, leaving only the core melody and lyrics.
Which leads us perfectly into the arrangement and specifically John Lennon's role.
Right, because even though Paul wrote the song itself, John's contribution to the record is absolutely crucial. It wouldn't be the same song without it.
It's a perfect example of their partnership, isn't it? Even when one wrote the bulk, the other could add that magic ingredient.
What's fascinating here is John looking at this really quite lovely melodic song from Paul.
Yeah, potentially a bit sweet on its own.
Exactly. John reportedly felt it needed something, some grit, some urgency to stop it from just being nice. It needed drive.
And boy, did he provide it with that guitar part.
Oh, yeah. That relentless, buzzing, super fast guitar riff he plays throughout.
The triplet pattern, right? Played really fast.
Yes, 16th note triplets, over and over. He played it on his Rickenbacker 325. Clean sound, no distortion, but it's so fast it just creates this constant layer of rhythmic energy.
It's almost like a second drum part, just continuous motion.
It really is. And the fact that they're triplets gives it that slightly off-kilter, tumbling forward feel. It's not just a straight 4/4 beat. It adds this tension, this propulsion.
You can imagine trying to play that consistently for the whole song. Exhausting.
Totally. But that's what gives the track its unique character. Paul gives you the romance, the melody, the promise.
And John gives you the speed, the urgency, the rock and roll heartbeat underneath.
Perfectly put. It's that Lennon grit transforming McCartney's pop sophistication, pure alchemy.
It really defines the recording. You take that away, and it's a completely different, much gentler song.
No question. It's the sound of their collaboration just clicking in the studio,
Yeah.
making the whole greater than the sum of its parts.
And they nailed it pretty quickly, too, didn't they? July 63.
Yeah, apparently just 14 takes, which is pretty efficient. And get this for extra energy, Paul sang the lead vocal while playing his Hofner bass.
At the same time. Wow.
Yeah, that's not easy, especially with those intricate bass lines he often played. But it means you get that live, slightly breathless energy baked right into the lead vocal track. You can almost hear the effort.
That immediacy definitely comes across, which probably explains why this song became so important beyond just being an album track in the UK.
Absolutely. Now we're talking about its role in conquering America. This song was huge for that.
Right, because for a lot of Americans, this was one of the very first Beatles songs they heard performed live on TV.
Exactly. We all think of I Want to Hold Your Hand as the big single that broke them there, which it was.
But on the Ed Sullivan Show, that first iconic appearance, February 9th, 1964.
They played All My Loving. It wasn't the very first song. That was Till There Was You, I think. No, wait. They opened with All My Loving, then Till There Was You, and She Loves You. Then later in the show, I saw her standing there, and I Want to Hold Your Hand. Point is, All My Loving was right there in that critical first set.
Okay, maybe my memory's fuzzy on the exact order, but it was definitely prominent. Correction. The first set was All My Loving, Till There Was You, She Loves You. The second set was I Saw Her Standing There, I Want to Hold Your Hand.
It absolutely was. And even more telling, for a good chunk of that first U.S. tour, All My Loving was their opening number for the live shows.
Their opener, ahead of the big singles.
Yep. Think about that choice. You've got these monster #1 hits, screaming crowds, and you kick off with this track from the UK album.
Why do that? What was the thinking?
Well, it's fast, it's energetic, it immediately shows off their playing ability, especially John's guitar, and the tight harmonies. It wasn't just simple chords, it had complexity.
So it was like a statement piece.
Yeah.
We're not just teen idols, we can really play.
I think so. It grabbed the audience instantly, showed their polish and their energy right from the first second. A really smart, strategic choice to set the tone.
And the fact that they all agreed on it speaks volumes. Even John, who could be pretty harsh about their earlier stuff later on.
Right. John was known for dismissing songs, even his own sometimes. But All My Loving seemed to escape that. He generally gave it a pass, maybe a quiet nod of approval.
Because it worked. It was perfectly crafted, perfectly executed, and it did its job brilliantly on that crucial tour.
Couldn't have said it better. It was just right.
Okay, but hang on. Here's where it gets really interesting. We've been talking about the speed, the triplets, the energy.
Yeah, that driving rhythm.
But the song doesn't start that way, does it?
Ah, good point. No, it absolutely doesn't. This is maybe the most surprising, boldest touch in the whole arrangement.
It starts with nothing, just Paul's voice.
Exactly. Completely unaccompanied, a cappella. Just close your eyes, hanging there in space for a second.
Before everything crashes in. The drums, bass, George's rhythm guitar, and John's triplets all kick in together, dramatically.
It's incredibly effective. Talk about grabbing your attention. Starting a rock song, essentially a pop rock song with just a bare voice in '63, that was unusual.
Takes some confidence, doesn't it?
Huge confidence. It says, listen to this melody, listen to this voice. It's strong enough on its own. It forces you, the listener, to just lean in immediately.
And that contrast, the quiet intimacy of that first line, then the explosion of sound, it perfectly mirrors the lyric, doesn't it? The quiet promise, then the rush of emotion or energy needed to fulfill it.
Beautifully put. It's like musical scene setting. Intimacy, then boom, the energy of separation and longing, perhaps. It's a masterstroke of arrangement.
So clever. Just a tiny detail, but it changes the whole impact of the opening.
So what does this all mean when you pull it all together?
Yeah, what's the takeaway here?
All My Loving is just this perfect little snapshot of the Beatles right at that moment of transformation. You've got Paul stepping up with really sophisticated pop writing, but doing it in this backwards lyrics first way. Then you've got John, not as the primary writer, but as the arranger, injecting that essential rock and roll energy, proving arrangement can be just as defining as composition.
Turning a potential C&W ballad into a Mersey beat classic.
Precisely. It's that alchemy again. Taking these different elements, a reversed process, a stylistic U-turn, collaborative genius, and ending up with something brilliant. And then using it strategically to take on the world.
It really is a fascinating story for what seems like such a straightforward, happy pop song on the surface.
The best ones often have those hidden depths.
And maybe the final thought for everyone listening is just that. Sometimes the greatest results come not from rigid plans, but from these kinds of happy accidents, these reversals of process, and trusting those collaborative sparks. A tune born while shaving ends up opening the door to America. You couldn't script it better.
Couldn't agree more.
Well, thanks for joining us today. Whenever you feel like knowing more about the Beatles, visit us at BeatlesRewind.com. Every day, we do something new there. Cass will do it again tomorrow.
Sounds like a plan.
See you then, Steve. Bye, everyone.
Until next time, when you listen.
Your mind conducts its own symphony.